For many years, I had been looking for the next shift in technology. As an entrepreneur, I knew that there was something new and exciting on the forefront. I just didn't know what that was until 1 year ago. 1 year ago, I found out about NFTs. And like most of us in the room, I went deep down that rabbit hole. The months of June and July of last year, I was obsessed with learning about this technology. As a self-portrait photographer over a decade, I was thrilled that I could bring my artwork to the world with NFTs. As the owner of a restaurant in San Diego, California, I also was curious, how could I use NFTs to generate in real life sales for my brick and mortar business? Last year, I got a notification that Gary Vee was on a plane to San Diego. This hadn't been announced, and it was the day of the Christie's auction. I was stunned that he was on this airplane, and I soon found out that I could buy a day ticket to this real estate conference. Yes, let's go. So my friends and I go to this conference, and in a room of thousands, when he brought up NFTs, only a handful of people clapped or cheered. You better believe we found each other in the lobby of that hotel. And during this time together, I had a discussion with the new friends I had just made. And I said, NFTs are amazing and all, but how can I use NFTs to get people into the door of my restaurant? As a restaurant owner, I needed people in there, buying food, drinking wine. Is anyone in here the owner of a brick and mortar business? Okay, not anyone in the room. Okay, we've got one person. Yes, so you know what I'm talking about. You need people in the door of your facility. And from that conversation, so much has happened. I ended up bringing on an incredible community leader in San Diego, California. Her name is Valerie. She goes by VDizzle777. And we were on a timeline. We were going to solve this situation by NFT.NYC last year. And in 3 weeks, we figured out how to create a customer loyalty program using NFTs and POAPs to generate in real life sales. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Greetings, everyone. I'm Lauren Turton. I'm host of the podcast Freedom with NFTs. I interview NFT enthusiasts who share their tools, tips, and tricks so you can dive even deeper into creating your version of freedom with NFTs. I'm also director of Web3 content at Moco. Moco is a new streaming platform. We're in beta right now and we'll be launching soon. And I'm going to be curating the Web3 content in our library. And I'm also co-owner of Ciao Ciao Piadina, an Italian restaurant located in San Diego, California, that, as you've recently heard, has launched an NFT project that generates in real life sales. Customer loyalty and customer retention at a brick and mortar business can be difficult. It's a challenge to get people to come back into your door. Customer loyalty programs can also be costly. Customer loyalty programs can also be very impersonal, with no uniqueness to them. There is a solution, though: NFTs and POAPs. And if you're not familiar with what a POAP is, it stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. Maybe you've seen a character at this conference wearing an orange jacket. That is the founder of POAPs. If you haven't looked into them yet, I highly encourage you to do so. They're free to create and they're free to obtain, and they are on the blockchain. Think of it as a ticket stub. NFTs and POAPs, they can be very cost-effective when it comes to a customer loyalty program. They're also flexible. You can create them based off of what your customers say to you. I'm a big advocate of customer, community, and client-driven feedback. We need to be creating products and then getting that feedback so we can tweak and change them so that they actually serve our community members. And that's what POAPs and NFTs offer. Also, uniqueness. You can combine artwork from your brick and mortar business or have artwork created and with goods from your business for your customer loyalty program. If you're interested in checking out what we created at Chow Chow Piadina in depth, scan this QR code here, and it'll take you to a landing page that has the detailed information. Very quickly, I will walk you through what it is that we created. We created a 5-tiered customer loyalty program using POAPs and NFTs. Every time you come into the restaurant and spend over $20, you receive a POAP. Every 6th time you come into the restaurant, you receive an NFT with utility, like a free appetizer or glass of wine on your next visit. And the first 20 people to go through this system for the rest of their lives will get 20% off their bill, monthly AMAs with me, a bottle of Prosecco during their birthday month, and an annual party for them plus one. We have run into some roadblocks with this program, and I'm sharing this with you so for anyone who might be wanting to implement something like this in their brick and mortar business will learn from my experiences. Some of the things that we've encountered is this isn't a software. It's not connected with all of our other systems in the restaurant. Currently, we use Square as our payment processor. It is not linked to Square. One of the things that I was adamant about with this program was creating a customer profile for everyone who engaged in this. Currently, I have my team members at the restaurant creating a customer profile in Square. That doesn't make sense on a busy Friday or Saturday night in a restaurant. This is also not linked to the people in my restaurant who are working. If you come into the restaurant and say, hey, I'm here to get a POAP, I'm in the NFT community, what are they to do to get that POAP to you? They need to contact me, and then I need to deliver it to that person. You can see this is not all linked together. With all of that being said, this has been an incredible journey to go down, and what I shared with you earlier, we're getting the community-driven feedback on how to improve what it is that we created. So with that being said, our next steps are these. We are currently working to create a software so that we can solve this for brick and mortar businesses and the restaurant industry. We're currently working on the next steps, which is receiving funding to take this to the next level. I appreciate everyone's time and attention today, and I hope you found value in this talk. Again, I'm Lauren Turton, and I wish you all the best during your NFT.NYC journey. Thank you.
Okay, that was amazing. Let's bring Lauren back for a second, do a quick Q&A, because I have some questions. See here. Okay, I just jumped in. So I work for Gary Vee, feel super lucky, was very excited to hear that a lot of your first connections was about going and seeing him. What was the moment that you told your parents about NFTs and what they do, and how did they respond?
I'm actually going to tell a better story than my parents. My grandma,
my
89-year-old grandma who has never had a computer, has never had internet. They recently did get an iPhone so they can text. I gave her a call.
Love that for them.
Yeah, me too. It's wonderful. I gave her a call and I said, hey, Grandma, I'm switching it up again. I'm now diving into NFTs, which is in the technology industry. Mm-hmm. And she said, okay, that's an interesting switch from things you've done in the past. Tell me what's going on. I said, there's this new thing that's happening in the world, and think of it as a barcode that you know from the grocery store that you can scan, but it happens to be forever time-stamped on the computer systems around the world. It's called the blockchain. And my grandma, she goes, that is absolutely wonderful, and I'm very happy for everyone that you know in this industry, because it sounds like times are changing, and I feel like people who are involved in this are going to do incredible things in the world.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay, let's give it up for Lauren's grandma.
Yes, Grandma Sue.
I feel like she should have been speaking here right now. Amazing. And I love how you, this is why I wanted to talk to you a bit more too, because I love how you explain. Oh, thanks. I love how you explain what NFTs are in a simple way and how you tell your story in a way that people who aren't even in the industry can understand. So how do you approach if someone is coming to you for the first time and they're like, okay, what is this stuff? What is going on? Would you approach it the same way that you did with your grandma, where you just try to explain it in a simple way and then drop the blockchain bomb on them at the end?
So something that's been a learning lesson for me over the past year is not to explain too much to people who know nothing about this space. I used to serve on the board of a director of a nonprofit that serves the area that my restaurant is in. And they asked me, hey, what's a new way that we could generate some income? I said, well, we could explore NFTs. So I put together this incredible program for them. And I decided that part of this program was me explaining to them about blockchain, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, and I went really in depth. And about 15, 20 minutes in, I realized I had made a huge mistake. I turned them off from all of this because I overwhelmed them. I scared them. I freaked them out with everything that I was sharing because it was so far away from everything that they knew. So that was a huge learning lesson for me, and it taught me to explain what it is that we're doing in this space as simple as possible. And when somebody else asks a question, that's when you can go in with more information for them because they asked. They asked you.
Right.
But just taking it step by step with them so that we can onboard more people into the space.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Is there any one last piece of advice that you'd want to give for anyone who wants to really create in the space? Maybe they already understand it and they're ready to take it to the next level.
Find the people that you connect with and resonate with in the space and make it regularly scheduled that you are connecting and meeting with them. This journey can get scary and overwhelming. It could even get dark. I remember last year, it was around September, I went through a phase where I was going through imposter syndrome, I was going through an identity crisis, and I didn't have anyone to talk to or turn to. There are some incredible women here in the front row. Caitlin is in the front row right here. She recently has a new project called the Calibration Room, and she's supporting women in the space who are at a higher level that need to have these conversations. And I share with you an example and a tangible answer because I want people to know there is someone here in this room that can help you with that if you need support in the space.
Amazing. Lauren, thank you so much for your time and this impromptu Q&A. I just wanted to
Thank you for having me.
A little more out of you while you were here. Thank you.